Anna, shall be on. I started working for the SNP, Scottish National Party, 20 years ago, and in those days the SNP had a handful of members of Parliament. We were 1% of the UK Parliament. And so the journey we have come on from a time of being tiny, without any Scottish Parliament, to now today being a majority government in Scotland and having reached 45% of the vote in an independence referendum. The journey has been fantastic, enormous, and it shows what can be achieved in just 20 years. You can go from nowhere to exceptionally close to independence, and that for me has been the real lesson of these past 20 years. Being able to have the determination, the energy, the focus. You can achieve an awful lot for your country with those three elements.
Bueno, berak hasieratik kontatu nahi dizue, SNP-ko edo Eskoziako alderdi nazionalisteko kide egin zala duela 20 urte, eta bere ibilbidea kontatu du hitz batzutan, ez? Orduan alderdi eskoziarra oso txikia zen, 6 parlamentari bakarrik zituen Londresen, eta boskaren 1%. Orduan, poliki-poliki nola goraka juntzan, partidu hau, parlamentua ez egotetikan Eskozian, parlamentu hori lortzeko referenduma irabaziz, eta ondoren iritsi diala izatera partidurik bozkatuena maioria absolutuarekin Eskozian, eta azkenean referendu batea galdu dutena, baina oso gutxiratik 45%. Orduan beretzako alderdi honetan egin duen bidaia, edo Eskoziak egin duen bidaia izan da bidaia zoragarri bat, erakusten duena zenbat lortu daiteken 20 urtetan, determinazioa izan eskero, borondate izan eskero, eta konsultatu iten badira indarrak halako muga batean.
So the title of the talk tonight is How We Almost Won, and that's the way I like to look at it, because when we started in the first year of the campaign in 2012, we did an opinion poll which had yes support at just 25%. So we moved from 25% to 45% in the end, and came very, very close at one point, I think, to getting a majority. There was one opinion poll 10 days out from the referendum which had independence at 51%, and that was certainly the high watermark of the campaign.
Hasi zirenean kanpainan 2012an baietzaren aldeko jentia orduan 25% bakarrik izan. Horregatikan nolabait deitu dio bere hitzaldiari nola ila irabazi genuen. Ze gogoratzen du hasiera apaloiek 25% bakarrik baietzaren alde, eta 2 urteko ibilbidea nola iritsi zian 45%era. Gaina inkesta bat egon zen erreferenduma baino lehen, 10 egun lehenago, ematen ziena 51%, ia irabasteko zorian. Orduan horregatikan izenburua.
The good news for the referendum was we actually did win among people aged under 50 in Scotland, and the analysis suggests that people who got their information from newspapers, traditional newspapers, tended to vote no by majority, and people who got their information from the internet, from social media, voted yes. And for me, those are two very encouraging statistics. We've got the potential for a majority in a few years' time simply from the demographics of Scotland.
Aztertzen emaitzak esan daiteke berri onak direla, referenduma irabazi zala 50 urte baino gutxiago duen jendeak baietza bozkatu zulako nagusiki, naiz eta 50 baino gehiago zutenak nolabait bozkatu gehiago ezetzaren alde. Orduan hori da puntu bat, eta beste puntu bada aztertu dituztela emaitzak eta kontatu diela informazioa jasotzen zutenak komunikabide arruntetatik edo klasikotatikan, hau da telebista, prensa, horiek diela nolabait ezetza bozkatu dutenak. Beste alde erabili ditutenak edo gazteak beste bitartekari batzuk, ez gaurko digitalak, horiek direla nolabait baietz bozkatu dutenak. Orduan ikuste dutela etorkizunerako potentzial handi bat, demografikoa, hori da jende gaztea, batetikan informazioa jasotzen duna digitalki eta beste batetikan berezkoa dutena baietz hori.
So when we began the campaign, essentially independence had been an idea in Scotland for many, many years, but it hadn't become a real concept for people until the SNP won the 2011 election. And the SNP won in 2011 and became the majority government in Scotland. So we were able for the first time to guarantee that we could pass legislation for a referendum. And at that point, it was only at that point when people knew that they had to decide on independence that they essentially woke up to what independence would mean. So the level of knowledge in 2011 about what an independent Scotland would be was very, very small. And so we had a mountain to climb in terms of giving people even basic information about what an independent country was. People couldn't picture independence in their mind. And that was one of the reasons why the campaign, I say here, we had a mountain to climb, because there was such a vast information gap in people's minds. So that was the biggest challenge at the start of the campaign.
Independentziaren eta identitatea Eskozian existitzen zen gauza basan, baina behar bada ez konzeptu bat jendea benetan sinisten zuna. Hor zeon, baina ez zeon landuta. Orduan, 2011an irabazi zuenian gobernuan alderdi nazionalistak era nagusi batean eta aukera auki zuenian legedia pasatzeko nolabait erreferendum hori gauzatu zedin. Orduan izan zen, jendia konturatu zenean, hau benetan gertatuko da, ez? Eta nolabaiteko bertigoa. Jendeak benetan etzakan informazioa ulertzeko ze izan daiteken independentea den estatu bat, ezintzu benetan irudi bat egin, argazki bat egin, izan zeteken Eskozia independente bat. Orduan izan beraien lehenengo erronka, nola informatu jendia horren inguruan.
So we knew that in order to win in 2014, we had to build the biggest grassroots movement in Scottish history. And essentially that was because in order for people to learn about independence, we knew we had to bypass the traditional media, the newspapers. The traditional media in Scotland was almost universally opposed to independence. And so the campaign knew that the best way of persuading people about independence was through conversations. So yes, supporters across Scotland would have conversations with their friends, with their family, with their work colleagues, and over the period of the 2 years of the referendum campaign would move people towards support for independence. So that was the general approach, creating a mass movement, creating a groundswell as people moved slowly over the 2 years towards support for an independent Scotland.
Kontuatu zian, beharrezkoa zutela sortzea herri mugimendu bat independentziaren ideiaren alde. Eta horretarako, inberzutena zan nolabait, komunikabide tradizionalen gainetikan ipini, eta komunikabide tradizionalak, BBC eta bar, beti zian independentziaren aurkakoak, eta nolabait sortu giro bat, eta horretarako erabiltzen zituzten elkarrizketak, ez? Jendiak hitz egitea lagunekin, hitz egitea familiarrekin, hitz egitea lankidekin, eta bar, sortzeko nolabait poliki-poliki masa handi bat independentziaren alde ari zena lanean, giro hori.
So what we did was we essentially knew we had to educate the independent supporters. So I would give you as much information as possible about independence, and you would then speak to 10 of your friends. And what you would do is you would give each of those friends the right bit of information. So the friend who was interested in the economy, you would talk in a certain way. The friend who was interested in welfare policy, you would talk in a different way. So our activists and volunteers became the core of the campaign because they knew best how to sell the independence message to people within their social circles. And for me, the reason why we came so close to winning is because we had tens of thousands of enthused, engaged, informed and active people selling the independence case in a way that was much more personal, much more effective than we could do at the centre. So the language that we spoke at the centre was added to enormously by the social connections that people had across Scotland. And that's where the real strength and power of the campaign came in.
Orduan, oinarriaren zutena zen nolabait jendea edukatu independentzia gai hortan. Horretarako egiten zutena zen informatu zenbait jente, independentziaren inguruan, aspektu ezberdinak, eta gero jente honi esan hautatu 10 lagun. 10 lagun interes gune ezberdinekin. Zuk egingo zu berari nola hitz egin ze zure laguna da. Orduan ekonomiakin interesatuta badago, nik emango dizut informazio hau ekonomiaren inguruan lagun horri pasatzeko. Eta lagun hori berriro aktibatzen zenuen gauza bera egiteko. Beste bateren interesgunea baldin bazan ez dakit, ongizate gizarte, ongizate gizarteko informazio horretan trebatuko zaitut, zuk ari pasatzeko eta gero arek ere iteko nolabait irakasle lana. Horrela sortu zituzten taldeak. Orduan, benetako indarra kanpainarena izan zian talde hauek, gune hauek. Beraiek izan dira kanpainaren nukleoa nolabait. Informazio gure hauek. Beraiek saldu dute independentzia hobekien, beraiek zekilako nola egin hori. Orduan, lortu zituzten nolabait gutxi, aipatu duen kopuru izan da 10.000 zale amorratuak, aktivista handiak jakin izan duten hau saltzen gaina modu personal batean. Eta hor datzala kanpainaren indarra.
So for those of you who are interested in the sort of strategy of all this, one of the best things we did was to, when we were canvassing people, not just to ask them, do you support independence, yes or no, but to ask them to give us the answer on a 1 to 10 scale. So number 1 was totally against independence, number 10 was totally for independence. And so what we were able to do was to get a really detailed picture of different levels of support across the country. And so the aim of the campaign became not to move somebody from no to yes, but to move them from 3 in the scale to 5 in the scale to 7 in the scale to 9 in the scale. And that's a much easier process. You can sort of push people towards support for independence without the need to have an overnight conversion. And for us, that was one of the most effective techniques that we had in the campaign. It was a slow drip, essentially, finding the right issues for the people and moving them towards a yes vote.
Jarraitzen du pixka bat estrategiarekin, ez? Orduan beraiek pixka bat atez-ate edo lagunez lagun edo jotzen zutenean, etzieten galdetzen, independentzen alde zaude bai ala ez, baizik eta eskala batean. Bat izango zen guztiz kontra eta 10 guztiz alde, ez? Orduan, horrekin lortu zuten nolabaiteko irudi garbi bat Eskoziako egoera zeintzan, nun zeon jendia. Ez edo bai, baizik eta gutxi gora bera bai, gutxi gora bera ez, 2an, 3an, 4an, eta horrela alzuten nolabait diseinatu kanpainak muitzeko jentia 3tikan 5era, 5etikan 7era. Eta hori askoz prozesu errezagoa da, eta ez agian norbait konbertitzea gautik egunera ezetzetik baietzara. Horan, poliki, tantaz-tanta nolabait jun lortzen, gero eta txikimendu handiago bat independentzia erantz, naiztez izan totala. Baina jun jendea muitzen, apurka beren posizioetan.
We also knew that up until the referendum began, independence had been always about the SNP. The only people who talked about independence in Scotland were the Scottish National Party. And so what we had to do in the campaign was to have other voices appearing. And one of the strengths of the campaign is we had, over the course of the 2 years, a whole range of different organisations emerging. So you had business groups for independence, you had artists and creatives for independence, women for independence, radicals for independence. There were over 30 different organisations were created, each of whom was making a slightly different independence case, and they were able to speak in a slightly different way to different audiences. And so we moved from being simply one voice for independence to multiple voices for independence. And again, that created the sense of momentum and energy that was so central to the Yes campaign.
Prozesua hasi zenean, independentziaren ahots bakarra alderdi eskoziarra zan. Haiei bakarrik entzuten zitzaien olako diskursoa Eskozian, eta kontatu zien hori ezintzala, sortu berziala beste ahots batzuk. Orduan, saiatu zian sortzen talde gehiago adibidez, negozio edo enpresarien taldea independentziaren aldekoa, emakumeak independentziaren aldekoak, artistak independentziaren aldekoak. Eta horrela beste 30 erakunde ezberdin. Orduan, ahotsa bakarrik etzan alderdi eskoziarrarena, baizik eta beste ahots batzuk ere aiziran mezu berdina, baina ezberdina ere pasatzen. Ze beti izan ikuspegi ezberdin bat ematen zioten. Enpresari batek ez du artista baten ikuspegi izango edo alderdi batena. Orduan, lortu zian, ahots ezberdin horiek eta horrek eman zion energia berezi bat eta momentu hori harrapatu zuna kanpainak.
And then there was also a decision taken about the nature of the campaign. Rather than being complaining about things, rather than saying Scotland was bad in this way or there were problems in Scotland, we decided that we were going to be as positive as we could be throughout the campaign. So it was, what could Scotland achieve? What was great about Scotland? What could be better about Scotland? And so we had this tone of confidence in our country, optimism for the future, and hope. And the contrast between the two campaigns was very stark. The Yes campaign was the campaign of hope, and the No campaign, they actually called themselves Project Fear, and their campaign was based upon trying to frighten people. And that contrast between the can-do attitude of the Yes campaign and the can't-do attitude of the No campaign, I think helped us as well. And it's been a very important part of the SNP's journey to become a government, moving from being grumbling and complaining about things to talking about the potential and opportunity. It's been at the heart of the SNP's success and I think the Yes campaign's journey.
Gero beste gauza bat aldatu zutena izan zen mesuen tonua. Ordura arte behar bada nazionalisten tonua zen beti ezkorra, gauza gizki daude, ez dugu ezer lortuko, abezinezkoa da, pixka bat hor galduta. Egin zutena zen aldatu tonua eta konfiantzazko tonu bat lortu, mesu baikorrak zabaldu, positibotasun bat, beti behiratzen zer du honak Eskoziak, zer hobetu dezakegu, ez bakar behiratzen gauza txarrak, eta nolabait esperantzaren ahotsa edo bilakatzen. Eta kanpainan zehar ere hori ikusi da, baietzaren aldekoen mezuak beti izan dira optimistak, baikorrak, esperantzadunak, eta ezetzarenak, eta beraien kanpainaren izena ere alazan, beraien kanpainaren izena zan bildurraren proiektua, ezetzaren kanpaina beti egonda gelduta jendia ikaratzen, jendia bildurtzen. Hori izan zen kontraste handi bat eta lagundu zion alderdi eskoziarrari nolabait aurrea iten eta 45 hortara iristen.
But of course we lost. I've said all the good things about the campaign, but we lost. And I think there are various reasons why that happened. The first, as I tried to explain, was people didn't have a deep enough understanding of what independence would mean. We had to spend the first 2 years of the campaign simply persuading people that Scotland could be independent, that we were big enough, capable enough, wealthy enough to actually be an independent country. For decades, Scotland has been told that we're a subsidy junkie, we're dependent on London, we can't do it ourselves. And so there was a really difficult job at the beginning to give people the confidence that yes, we could be an independent country, never mind whether we should be, as the independence question asked.
Esan ditu gauza honak, baina egia da bagaldu egin zutela. Eta zergaitia hasi da esplikatzen, eta arrazoi bat izan daiteke, jendeak ez zuela nahiko informazioa zer dan independentzia. Orduan pasatu dituztela 2 urte, bestei gabe jendia konbentzitzen Eskozia independentea izan daitekela. Posiblea dala, badaukala nahiko aberastasun, posiblea dala hori. Hamarkadetan, Eskoziari saldu zaio, ez Londresen dirutan